I knew the moment that I saw the new Toyota Tundra that it did have potential, and I just had to make this video when I saw the Desert Chase concept that they just unveiled at SEMA, and I want to compare the stock Toyota Tundra to this new concept here and just show you the changes and also how big of an impact these changes had on the Toyota Tundra here. So some of the spec in tech for the new Desert Chase. Keep in mind that this is a concept, it's not a production version, but it just goes to show what you can do yourself to your Tundra to make it look like an absolute beast. I think that's what they've done here, Toyota, with the Desert Chase concept. So you have the tube bumper in the front end, of course, and a bunch of additional lights and accessories bolted onto this truck, and it's also 2 inches wider fenders in both the front and the rear, and I think that's also brings the plantedness for this truck onto the ground. And it does, of course, also help that it does have now 37-inch tall tires compared to, I think the standard is 33. Gonna show you the difference, what kind of difference that makes when we'll look at the stock, and then we'll look at this concept in side view. Just show you how big of an impact just changing the size or the height of the tire will do, specifically when you have this truck right here. The power plant is still the twin turbo V6 hybrid with the 437 horsepower and 583 pound-feet of torque, and I think this should be a Raptor TRX competitor because it looks so good here compared to the stock Tundra, and the interior here is full TRD Pro Tundra. So let's have a look here at this Desert Chase concept and compare it to the front view. This is not going to be a very well edited video. I just wanted to get this up there because I really wanted to show you the changes that I saw when I saw this truck just a few minutes ago. The big changes that they made and the big impact that it has on the truck. So what I love about the Ford Raptor, for example, are the flared fenders. You have this little chisel, the chamfer that goes around the headlight, and I think Ford Raptor has done that specifically well, and it's kind of became a trademark for the Ford Raptor when you look at it in the front. And it also, of course, adds a lot of width to the truck. And look what Toyota has done here with the Tundra. They've done pretty much the same thing. You can see that they have a big, massive chamfer right here, kind of housing the main headlights. And I think it looks so good. Compare that to the normal Tundra up here, which looks a little flat. It still looks good up here. I don't have any issues with the Tundra in this part right here. The issues, or the kind of thing that I would change immediately if I got a Tundra, is this log looking bumper here, because it has the same kind of radius all over here, so it looks like all the weight of the front end here is just pulled down by this massive bumper here, and it looks like it has a severe underbite or something like that. And that was the main graphic or proportional issue that I had with the Tundra when I looked at it from a front view. We also have some changes in the side view that I'm really excited to show you here next, and that also makes a massive improvement to the Toyota Tundra with the Desert Chase concept. So let's have a look at what they did with the bumper here. They basically just cut it off right here and reduced this mass down here, both with the coloring, so we don't have a big white thing sticking down here on both sides, which then turns into black right here. Instead, we now have this bar bumper right here, which I think suits this truck so well, specifically this bar in combination with these flared fenders here. It just looks really, really good. And of course, on top of that, we have a bunch of different changes as well and accessories added to the truck, which just makes it look like a proper Raptor, at least competitor. This looks like the Toyota version of a Raptor, not just with all the lights and these 3 lights in the middle here, the position lights, just because it's now wide enough to that it's regulation. You need to have those lights in the middle if the truck exceeds a certain width, and I'm guessing that this specifically now with the 2-inch flared fenders here definitely need those lights in the middle, which reminds me of the Raptor. But also this little chamfer right here, very cool. I love this detail. I love this overall look in the side here, and of course this new bumper here, bar bumper, which totally makes it reduces the weight, and it looks now like it's floating on top of the ground instead of being dragged down by the bumper right here like we have on the original. So let's quickly have a look at the side view here, because we have some major changes here as well. You don't have this side step here anymore. You can see that that's gone. There is some sort of side step here, but it sits more flush with the body, of course, to increase the overall ground clearance. But the biggest change, and the biggest change that I would make here here to the Tundra as well, which I talked about when I first made the video on the new Tundra way back. That was the tires and the wheels and tires. So if you look at the original here, the stock Toyota Tundra, the problem that I had with it is that we have these black parts right here. They make the wheelhouse look a lot bigger than what it actually is. It looks like a massive hole there, but when in reality the opening only goes to here. But the black accent pieces, specifically when it contrasts with the white here, it looks like it's part of the hollowness of the wheelhouse. And then you have these 33, I think these are 33, they might be even smaller than that, but I'm pretty sure they're 33-inch tires here stock on the Toyota Tundra. They just look like they're completely lost within this big black hole there, and they look way too small. And it's just a unfortunate play with graphics here, because the wheels and also the tires and the wheels are all black, so they kind of, you don't have anything separating this from the rest of the black graphics here. So it all looks like it's a small wheel that sits inside of a massive hole, and it just doesn't look that good. It looks like it skipped leg day here, the stock Toyota Tundra. And looking at it here from the side view, you can definitely see this underbite right here. So let's have a look at what they did on the Desert Chase here. Let's have a look at the front view here. Just look how much better this looks when we don't have this mass down here. It looks almost like a tumor down there that's now been removed, and looks a lot cleaner, a lot more nimbler and sportier. But the biggest change looking at it from a side view here is of course the 37-inch tall tires, which I think now it doesn't matter. This is just a tiny little accessory now instead of being the main graphic feature, because we have such a massive tire right now that actually fills in this black hole. So it doesn't matter if you have a little bit of carbon fiber pieces right here that are black, that makes it look like a bigger wheel well, because you have 37-inch tires, which suits this specific graphic way better than if you compare it to the stock up here. And I know it's gonna be a huge aftermarket scene for the new Toyota Tundra, specifically when they drop things like this. You get a lot of inspiration for what you can do to the new Toyota Tundra, and you just get the comparison, what changes, what they actually do to the overall proportions and the look and the stance of the truck. And then of course people are gonna want to do something like this to the truck when they get delivered. Last but not least, quickly let's have a look at the rear view here of the two. So on top we have the stock, obviously. Down here we have the Desert Chase. Not a lot to say here. It's just a very cool concept, and I'm really glad that Toyota decided to take the Tundra and actually redesign it pretty much themselves and fix all the small notes that I had in my first video about the Toyota Tundra, which were the wheels right here and the front bumper. Those were the main kind of concerns I had when it comes to the graphics, and those were all addressed here. And on top of that, the bonus to all that is that they even added these massive fenders here, 2-inch extra width, which makes it look like a proper TRX Raptor contender. So well done, Toyota, and I really want to see them build something like this and make this available as specifically targeted towards the Raptor and the TRX.